Okay, uh, next tool, I'll explain the next tool. So after this gradient and paint bucket tool, there is a blur tool, sharpen tool, and a smudge tool, right? So let us check a blur tool first. Yeah, place the cursor here. It is showing blurs areas in an image, right? So first import or otherwise open image. Take any image, suppose example, yeah, get this. Okay, this is the image, right? So zoom it here, and with this blur tool you can apply on any sharp areas, right? So here it is showing blurriness, right? So the brush size you can increase and decrease, and suppose we are using hard rounded brush, instead of that, if you take that smooth round a bit slowly, smoothly, by applying many times, the blurriness it is adding. But in hard round, it is a one step. Very quickly, we are adding a blurriness, right? That too strength depends on the strength. So use more strength, it shows more quick blur, right? So decrease this value less, and the blurriness also very low it is showing, right? And here we have mode, normal mode, darken and lighten. So what are these? So first keep this in 50% or 60%. Okay, so this is okay, and here present it is in normal, and suppose make it darken. Okay, so the darken mode, applying on that, and then use lighten. So for the lighten, this application is what, by applying the lighten mode, lightly it is taking, and hue, right? Hue, it is showing some difference here is a mode, so depends on the modes, and that too the background depends on the background color and foreground color. It is combining and showing that result, right? And this is a color. Okay, so luminously, so here see this is okay. So depends on the requirement, keep this mode. Generally we use in a normal mode, normally it applies. Okay, and here it is what, this a brush angle. So choose the brush angle. So it is it works with a vacuum pad. So I told you in the previous class, few options work with the vacuum pad. Vacuum pad mostly we use for the digital paintings and all, right? For the digital painting class time, I'll explain clearly about all these things, right? Okay. So next, this is a sharpen tool. With the sharpen tool, what we do, make it control Z. Suppose going back. Okay, so control Z. I'm using on keyboard. Control Z means coming back to a normal. Okay, so coming back to normal. Okay, these are the eyes. Okay, perfect, right? And then I'm applying that sharpen tool. Sharpens the soft edges in any ways. First find the soft edges. Soft edges, suppose if you feel it is a sharp edge, soft edge, by applying this tool it is becoming sharper, right? So don't apply, don't rub many times, it is giving that ugly result, right? So I'm giving control Z for few steps. Yeah, this is, and here also on eye I'm applying this sharpen, eyes coming into sharp, right? Sharp edges into sharpen, right? Yeah, this is, and here also we have options. soft round and hard round. With hard round, very quickly, see, this is very ugly result it is giving. So slowly, and with a soft round, that too a strength. Sometimes you can use more than 50 or less than 50, depends on the requirement. The same way modes also, right? Choose normally. Some specific cases you can use these other modes. Okay, these are very easy to understand, right? Then smudge tool. What smudge tool can do? Increasing the size of brush. Okay, and here the smudgeness I'm applying. See this? The smudgeness. Suppose here. Yeah. We are using the smudge tool. Smudge tool has soft and hard round. In default, it is showing in hard round, but in soft, I can come back to normal. Okay, I'm using soft round. With soft round, smoothly, right? Not very quickly, and ugly result it is giving. So bit a smooth way it is creating result, right? Okay, and that to change the modes, and again this darken mode. See, this is given the darken mode, and here it is a lighten. Suppose it is lighten. Okay, and these are the hue saturation. The same way the previous tool we used, the same way here also. Depends on the modes and requirements, the results will come, right? So keep this in a normal, and making Control Z. I'm adding to Control Z, getting into normal. Okay, that's good. Yeah, next tool is smudge tool. It smudges, smear and blend colors together, right? The smudge tool, what the smudge tool can do? So smudging colors. Okay. Yeah, just now we use this one. The next tool, blur tool and sharpen tool and smudge tool, right? Smudge tool already we covered. So because depends on the requirement, we use normal and darken. Okay, so come back to normal, and the other tool after these tools. So we use the dodge tool. So dodge tool, burn tool, and sponge tool. So what is the use of dodge tool? Lightens areas in an image. If you find here there is a light areas. Light areas means, suppose here in the nose tip lies light focusing on tip edge, right? Nose tip, because the light is coming here and falling on the top edges, and here in the bone showing upwards here, and cheeks and chin points, and the lip, and some areas in hair, and here and shoulder. These are the light areas, right? If you feel these light areas is not enough for you, if you want to increase the lighting, okay, so you can use this dodge tool. Okay, that too depends on the exposure and range. Okay, suppose I'm using midtones and exposure, so I'm rubbing on this. See, in nose tip it is giving the more shininess, right? So find the areas where you want actually. There you have to apply this tool. Suppose here on forehead, see, and here and the cheeks areas, and here also I'm giving retouching, right? Actually what we are doing, we are retouching, improving our photograph. So perfect, right? Look like a painting, right? And the same way you can use other parts of the body, and check with shadows. So for the shadows, the darkens, so you can use this size, okay, and use the hard round brush and apply on that. So here it is giving a more darken within the dodge. It is giving more darken means shadow means what, a dark color look like, right? So again here midtones we used, and highlights are what, the more a white portion, and use this soft round for good results. So now see, very beautiful, right? Though highlight it is, but it is looking like the patch. So decrease the exposure value. Yes, so naturally it is giving highlights. It takes only the highlights portion. Suppose it's a highlight. Yes, right. And the tip area I am using. Yes, perfect. Right. So for the retouchings purpose we use this tool, right? And here I am changing to a midtones and give the exposure value here. On hair I am using this tool to get the more highlight, and shoulder also, the shoulder, and here the collarbone here, because the where the light is exposing, there you can apply this. So it works more better, right? Perfect. Then come to a burn tool. So burn tool in opposite. So opposite to dodge tool it works. Selectively darken areas in an image. So darken areas means shadows it is creating. So here already shadows are there. Shadows means what? Opposite to light, the shadows. Suppose this is the light, and here the corners of the nose, we add shadows. That too, here the range is there and exposure, right? So don't give more exposure. It gives the more dark and black results, right? Slowly you can add the exposure from less to more, right? So I'm giving suppose the 15 only midtones, and here I'm using dodge tool. Observe here, burn tool. Observe here, it's creating the shadow. See the darkens it is giving, right? And this corner, because there that inside portion, because of the opposite light is creating a dark shadows, right? And here also. So if you want to increase, you can increase the shadows. Okay, and here look like painting. What we are doing actually here, just like a painting, we are giving some touch-ups. Yes, beautiful. And here under the neck, because under the neck shadows are there, and shoulder one side, because the light is focusing here, the below portion is giving some darkness. Okay, and yeah, here don't give at a time more burn tool. Yes, perfect, right? So we already gave a burn tool, right? And here sponge tool. With sponge tool, what we do, when you apply sponge on any surface, it rubs the color. It's rubbing the color. Okay, that too, here you can change the saturation and desaturation. Suppose here I am using desaturate. So it is what it is doing, desaturating that color. That too, flow depends on the flow, and give more flow, and it is giving more desaturation. Desaturation means what? It is removing color actually. It is removing color. It is almost erasing all your color areas. So desaturation and saturation. Saturation means what? Adding colors. Suppose here see, the before one desaturated, and here we are using a saturation. That too depends on the flow. Here already we gave more flow, so don't give more flow, so then it applies. Already we applied the more color, so get back to normal by giving the control Z, and this is now getting desaturation, and come back. I'm giving control jets more here. Okay, yes, 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 perfect. Okay, so depends on the flow, right? Don't give the more flow here, right? Yes, that's enough. Okay, this is the sponge tool, right? So what I covered now, so blur tool, sharpen tool, smudge tool. By seeing the tool and by this name, it is very easy to understand. Blur tool blurs areas, some areas in image, and sharpen tool sharpen required areas, and smudge tool smudges, and here it is dodge tool lightens your areas, and burn tool darkens your areas, sponge tool rubbing the areas by adding the desaturation and saturation, right? So these are the tools I covered, right? Next I'll explain pen tool. Okay,